100 subscriber special cat in the box. Thank you.
100 subscribers. Thank you so much. I've gotten some comments about my HUD and about my video settings, so I wanted to make a quick video to show you how I did that without having to manually type into a config, because I'm a lazy boy. I don't like doing that. So instead, I use this workshop map, config generator by CrashZ and Mysterio. It creates the config for you, it writes it for you based on these little menus around here. And you can change so much with this, it's awesome. So we're gonna go category by category and we're gonna start with the crosshair. Also, real quick, the link for the workshop map is down in the description. Your crosshair is whatever you want it to be, okay? There's no perfect crosshair. There are some absolutely terrible crosshairs if you've seen some Flom's videos. But it's really about testing out a bunch of different crosshairs and seeing what you like, right? I've seen people with these tiny little dots and they like that. I've seen people with bigger crosshairs with big gaps so that they can put people's heads inside of the gap and they like that. I have this crosshair. I'll put my full config in the description. I used to bounce around between a ton of crosshairs and I've had this one for what feels like forever now. So I love it. I think it's great. Just test out different crosshairs and see what you like. Your view model. Now, this is up to personal preference. I really like a view model that is push forward. You see a bunch of the gun, you see your hands, you see your wrists, you can see the little watch on your wrist. It's just cool. I think it looks cool. I played 6,000 hours of TF2, and in that game, you always set your FOV. So like your guns are just like stretched out so far. I just thought it looks nice and it carried over to this game. So the big thing for me here is your gun movement, okay? Even default, this is so much movement. I hate it. It's useful for counter strafing, for like kind of understanding where, you know, your accuracy is, because your gun will stop moving. But it's just annoying. It's just annoying, and you'll get a feel for it anyways without it. So I set mine to min, so you see how little it moves. It moves a little bit still, but it's not distracting anymore, right? Your HUD. Again, this is up to a lot of personal preference. I made mine purple. I think the purple looks nice. There's no real big tactical advantage to it. The one thing is that I push mine inwards, right? So my HP is way closer to the middle of the screen than it is if it was in the very bottom left corner. That's a slight advantage. I think it looks nice. So I'm sure some people wouldn't prefer that. So just try it out, see what you like. The most important of all, your radar. This is going to give you the biggest advantage in game. Okay, so if I'm playing A and I have a radar that's zoomed in on my sight, I'm not going to know what's going on over at B. And oftentimes you're going to get people who don't use their mics, they don't communicate, so you're going to have to rely on your radar for that information. And how you do that is you zoom out so that you can see like essentially the entire map, right? You also want to make your radar pretty big. I have mine pretty large, right? So when something pops up on the radar across the map, you can see it and you can get a better feel, better idea of what's happening. Over on the other side of the room, you have some more super useful settings. So you can bind jump throw to a key and it'll stay in your config and you won't have to touch it again. It is so useful. Please bind jump throw. Over here, you have some recommended settings. I haven't used these. If you want to try them out, I'm sure they're great. To wrap up, we're going to take a really quick look at my video settings. Okay, so I play on 1440 by 1080. This is the most pixels you can cram into a 4x3 if you have a 1920 by 1080p monitor. It'll make your game look way better than it would. What are the other 1280? Yeah, 1280 by 960. It'll look way better. It just requires more CPU usage. So depends on your computer if you want to do that. And of course, 4x3, important. Always full screen. My settings, I got a new computer pretty recently and I was just super hyped and I set all my settings to high. Some key things here is that VSync is always off, motion blur is always off, texture streaming always off. That's kind of it. Everything else is up to personal preference. You can mess around with it. I know there's some like optimized ones for higher FPS. There's some optimized ones for visuals to be able to see through nades or see through mollies. So you can look those up. I just like how this looks. So thank you for watching. Thank you for watching to the end. I appreciate it. Please consider subscribing. You guys are awesome. Have a great day.